One question I wanted to ask you is this: why aren't you dead?
You know his name immortalized in a way only he can say it.
Young Gucci Mane, don't kiss me, baby, you can kiss my chain.
From the heavy bass track on So Icy, turning lemons into the more upbeat Lemonade.
I'm moving slow, cause codeine syrups in my lemonade. I'm standing in the shade and I'm selling lemonade.
And then slowing it way down for Wake Up in the Sky with Bruno Mars.
I got white girls blushing, homie, cottage girls rushing on me. All my diamonds custom, so they clutching and they touching on me.
Gucci Mane, the Renaissance man from East Atlanta.
I put so many hours in, like Kobe in the gym. So I had that fire inside of me. It's like a hunger, a thirst that couldn't be quenched.
Ooh, Gucci Mane, trap icon, the originator. He's a part of like the Mount Rushmore of trap music. He has influenced so many artists, Young Thug, to Migos. He was even in that 2012 movie Spring Breakers with Selena Gomez.
Merry Christmas.
He's a legend.
But for all his bling and bravado in the highs of his career, there have been tumultuous lows, some even going viral on social media. From his past run-in with the law to his life allegedly being threatened earlier this year.
A group of victims, including rapper Gucci Mane, were allegedly robbed and kidnapped.
But Gucci says there was another struggle hiding in plain sight.
When it get really bad, I actually start hearing voices. And the voices be telling you to do different things.
We're pulling back the curtain on the mind behind the man, a stunning mental health diagnosis that changed his life.
I knew for a fact if I did not hang in there with him, he would be in prison or dead.
Who is the real Gucci? Is he the party boy people have come to know and love? Or is he a man who in his pain has found his peace?
It's the evolution of Gucci. You know what I'm saying?
Here at the Atlanta Symphony Hall, the main event tonight isn't just the orchestra or an opera, it's Gucci Mane. The 46-year-old fusing his rap repertoire with classical backings, showcasing some of his biggest hits like Pills. The crowd going wild for King Gucci.
I'm a #1 Gucci fan from back in the day.
With so many different people from different cultures, like coming and like really grooving and having a great time.
I was able to come out tonight and celebrate his old music and still recognize this is the new Gucci.
To this new Gucci, moments like these, so bright and joyful, once seemed unimaginable.
The dark side is what keeps me humble. And it lets me know, like, hey, I'm not a perfect person. I got other parts of my character. Everything ain't always good.
He wrote about that dark side in a gritty, recently released memoir called Episodes, chronicling his battle with mental illness and addiction.
For the greater part of my 20s and part of my 30s, I struggled with severe addiction, along with a dormant mood disorder that suddenly became active and destroyed my mental health.
Gucci says he's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and paranoid schizophrenia.
What made you write this book?
I wanted to help people. I need to write a book to kind of be like a handbook or a manual for artists that's going through something, let them know, hey, I've been through this. If I can do it, you can do it, and this is what I did to get past it.
Gucci says he experienced what he called episodes, stretches of time where he would black out and have lapses in memory.
The episode is a brief days or up to a week to a month of me not really thinking rational, hearing voices, and not being myself, and at the same time doing things that are super irresponsible. It's a total loss of control. It starts building, it starts just building like a snowball.
Bipolar disorder, the common symptom is depression and then a manic or hypomanic episode, which is where your thoughts are racing or maybe you feel on top of the world. Whereas paranoid schizophrenia is a disorder that is characterized by paranoia, where you feel afraid, maybe people are out to get you or you hear voices.
Dr. Janet Taylor has not treated Gucci, but is a psychiatrist specializing in addiction.
If you have a history of substance abuse or actively using substances, then that can make it worse.
In his book, Gucci describing the depths of the darkness that his deteriorating mental health took him to.
My brain sometimes is like a ticking time bomb. Tick, tick, tick. When the bomb's gone off, so much harm has been done. To me, to the people I love, to my music, hell, even to the streets.
The one question I wanted to ask you after reading your book is this: why aren't you dead?
I don't know. I think by the grace of God, I survived so many episodes.
One episode playing out for the world to see, caught on video. In September 2013, Gucci went on a rampage, walking into the Lenox Square Mall in Atlanta and nearly getting into a fist fight with a bystander.
I never had got treatment or help, so I was just doing a whole bunch of irresponsible things. So the Lenox Mall episode, when I was about to get in fighting in the mall, that was part of a 3-week, maybe 4-week spiral of things progressively getting just bad to worse.
His wife Keisha standing by him for some of the toughest moments.
I felt like if I left, that would be the end of him.
I mean, he might hurt himself.
Hurt himself or hurt others, because when he gets into these episodes, he becomes very dangerous. He does have different personalities during different episodes.
So what are the different personalities that you've seen?
He thought he was a monster. He really did. Another episode, we called him like Jason, like Friday the 13th, like Mad Max. That's the gangster one that would hurt you. It can be bad. It can be really bad.
But that bad was masked by his astronomical rise in the music world. He's been heralded as the most influential underground rapper of the 2000s.
Your club night wasn't popping unless you were playing Gucci back to back. He really flooded the markets, right, with music. And while he remains true to the trap music sound, obviously working with artists like Mariah Carey.
What's your name, Mariah Carey? Bling, wow, wow. I wish I had a lot to take the test right now.
Shows the growth in being able to make music in other genres.
The Grammy nominee, even today, has over 18 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Often in his most viral moments, like that infamous ice cream cone he got tattooed on his face in 2011, Gucci says the world was looking at someone in the midst of a psychotic break who didn't realize it.
I really felt numb, and I kept going getting tattoos to try to make me feel something. I don't know if I wanted to get a feeling or a reaction out of myself to drive me out of something, but it just get more and more extreme, and that led to the ice cream cone tattoo.
Right here, please.
That tattoo celebrated, but also ridiculed by fans.
Right here by Live Nation.
I just remember we were like, what the heck? Like, what is this? Is everything okay? What is going on?
Whenever someone makes a drastic change, a tattoo on their face, or maybe they cut their hair or start wearing different clothes, it certainly can be a sign that something is going on. When people will do things like even self-harm, cut themselves, undereat, overeat, just to connect to the pain.
When you look in the mirror now and you see that, what do you think?
It doesn't bother me at all. Now it's like a part of who I am. It was a time when I first got it, like after a little bit, I kind of regretted it.
You were in one of your episodes.
100%.
These episodes where his deteriorating mental health sent him into a downward spiral were often fueled, he says, by lack of sleep and frequent drug use, including lean, an often dangerous mix of prescription cough syrup, soda, and sometimes hard candy.
I struggle with mental health challenges and I struggle with addiction problems too. And, both sides can really derail you.
When you use a substance, it goes to your brain, certain parts of your brain, and can impact the same neurotransmitters that cause mental illness. So in some cases, while people are trying to take a substance to change how they feel, it may worsen it or make somebody more likely to be psychotic.
Usually I have an episode, and then by the end of it, I'd be in jail.
How many times have you been to jail?
I've been in jail maybe 20 times.
Up next, from bad to worse, Gucci hits rock bottom.
I don't want to live like this no more.
And the woman who helped the music mogul dig himself out of the darkness.